I just really like that song, so I let it go all the way to the end. You people watching the VOD won't know what song it is. Anyway, we're starting now. Let's see how fast I can get through this, so maybe I can catch. I kind of want to also watch Amelia Watson's last stream, but that's going on right now, and I won't be able to catch it all. Caught the beginning of it. I'll probably catch the rest of it as a VOD, but it's cool. The case is already over. I mean, I guess so, because the defendant and let's remember, the defendant and the prosecutor are both dead. Really, you consider going to, man, you were terrible dad. Who was the person? Oh wait, they arrested Gumshoe. Because he was denying, he was not giving up more information about what he was doing when he was outside the room. It's true. Alrighty, time for us to go back on the case. So let's first go talk to the police, because they don't fucking matter, but I still want to hear what they say. Okay. Are you crying? Oh, go to the bathroom. Go to the bathroom. Let's go. No. You do well to guard yourself against the interests of this in such unproductive things. Hey, you tell it to a modeller's face. At some point I want to make a 3D model. Like, maybe I could get like a Gundam or something. Get like the area. Was it the Aerial? Was that the one from G-Witch? Well, let's get a classical from like G-Wing. Hmm. Alright. First person to talk to. Yeah, I mean, how would she know who you are? Yeah, why do you always whip like the other guy? Why don't you ever whip the person that you're acting or whatever? Not to inquire as to where you are at the time of the murder. You were to the bed? Okay. Hit me up. It was about every single time the Yatagarasu made a move. Huh. I think given the two would meet up at every once. The two would meet up at every one of the crime scenes. Okay. Me doing that's what I was planning to do, but Mr. Faraday's been rather threatening, and he dragged Mr. Well away. Jeez, lady. Okay. Now your client first claimed to be the Yatagarasu, is that correct? He made it up? So defense lawyer is actually just someone whose job it is to the movie job it is? I guess the job is to cover for criminals. That's why defense lawyers are so detestable, but they are no match for us for commas. Yeah, okay, prosecutors are definitely wonderful peaches, right? As we've seen in these games. Whew. Don't put words in my mouth. I said no such thing. The only way I had to get close to Mr. Well was to be his lawyer. I wasn't for covering for him ever. So don't you dare suggest I was going to. Okay. Right. Requests from companies. Kind of like, you think it was kind of like a white hacker kind of thing. Also deals in information, namely in digging out dirt about backroom dealings and the like of companies. Yadagarasu is a vigilante who steals such info and then makes it public for all to see. After all, you have nothing to worry about if you really are innocent, that is. Alright, let's see what Gumshoe has to say. What do we do the same exact thing in elementary school on the first day of school every year? I always wind up going to my old classroom. You have dirt on Francisco. Let's go! I was told to make sure nothing happened to Mr. Faraday. Okay, so what's the next step then? Is there anything else you'd like to tell me? I think you're lying. There's nothing of any particular value here. Annual bonus check within $5 total, except there's no check inside. Your bonus check is $5? What? Oh, first bonus is a brand new check. Even then, it's still fucking low. No, it's a special occasion. It's his first bonus check. And again, and based off how his performances in these games, probably his only bonus check. Wait, is that the thinker? Why no oysters? Ugh. I have no use for such foolishly foolish words from that foolishly foolish crowd. That's the thinker right there. That's from the first case of the first game. That shouldn't even be made yet. What the fuck? Oh, maybe this is a doorstop that looks like the thinker. Oops. Wee. All right, I need to know your information about. Well, not that. I don't think I've ever received it. Well, have I ever received a prototype my job? I've gotten my anniversary check, but I guess that's the bonus. It was actually a pretty good check. But you have to like not use sick days and shit to get like really good ones. With no sound other than the gunshot out in the hallway. Is that correct? No one passed through the hallway either. Is that also correct? Not even a single ant passed through that hall while I was on duty. You do realize that the lie you're telling is only making life more difficult for yourself. All right, time for us to move places. Oh, was that a quad hit or a butt hit? Oh. Wistful drop by the mysterious and go says, "Courthouse special on it." The judge said that he saw. What did the judge say that he saw? Just because no one was in the hallway for a short time. Huh. They're gonna cross-examine the judge. That'd be kind of fun. It's been like over 10 years since I played this game, so I can't tell if that's what we're supposed to do. It's been way long, actually. Hold on. When did this game first come out? Bit my tongue. I see Mr. New Prosecutor recommended by Von Comma, Mouse Edgeworth, and Miss Jen. Mr. Prosecutor Edgeworth. Okay. So let's look around first. The must have expected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. I don't know why we didn't look at here before. A pink colored piece of trash made of rubber. Balloon? Rubber belongs in a rubber spin. That is true. That is very true. And then recycles one recycle bin. Ow. Did you touch that? I believe this cat is sitting on this windowsill is completely related. It's the third floor. What's the distance between the buildings? Oof. Oof. Ooh, little ants. Everything with Francisca, all it is just a Von Karma name. Daddy, be please. Daddy will be like this. Look at the Von Karma name. Why are you hitting me? No, not his pay cuts. Not a debtor's pay cut. I wonder what the ants are eating. Looks from the look and sweet smell of it, pieces of cake and chocolate from a Swiss roll. And we have a Swiss roll. Not done that again.
Hold it!
Come down, come down. That person, how to live depends on the person who sullied this bench. The thing must belong to Detective Gumshoe. Which means that he would have had to be on the bench at one point. I kind of want to watch A Bug's Life. I've seen that movie in like forever. Alright, so let's start this way. I mean, I left the fire extinguisher already. So, gumshoe, more like shoe gum, am I right? Yeah, don't you hate it when you get gum on the bottom of your shoe? Also, welcome in, Kiki Betty. We'll be having a good, I'm assuming night, but it could be day. Okay. Does this guy talk? Oh, night for you too? Okay. A $5 bill back there? Oh man. What, you don't know? Maybe the $5 bill is some evidence. You can't be complained about that, Francisca. Watching that doesn't seem to be a single person we can deem useful here. But no, there's the... Well, no, this is how about... He's kind of... Let's just go talk to the judge. Your Honor, I'd like to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind. Where were you at the time of the murder? Yeah, fellow Night Stalker gang? Yes, we're the people who have more power during the night than we have during the day. That which is definitely true for me. I'm more of a night person than a day person. Do you suspect me of something? Nothing of the sort, Your Honor. Very well, you may continue with your testimony. It's your testimony I'm after. I'm beginning to sense that I might want to avoid being in a trial run by this judge. It's funny because like almost every single one of the trials that you've ever had is run by this judge in the future. That's the joke. Let's see here. Now then, how should I put this? When you get to be my age, oh come on. You need to pay more frequent visits to the restroom. Okay. Look through the window at the end of this hall, you'll see a small window. That's the window to the men's restroom. In other words, you can see clearly into this hallway from the men's restroom. Oh! Oh! That is true, but if someone's sitting down on the bench, you may not be able to see it. He was standing in front of the vending machines buying something from it. However, this is what I couldn't believe when I was about to exit the restroom. Isn't this judge guy middle-aged? He is judge guy, but he is the judge. He is the main judge for like the Ace Attorney series, but he's not. He's like 30, right? Oh no, he's old. He is old. He is I give you exact age. I can't give you an exact age. I can't even get her age. 40, 60, 40, well, dead. 53, dead. 32, dead. 22. Yeah, she's younger than me, damn. 26, I can't believe he's younger than me at this point. I think I'm Gumshoe's age in the current time. Gumshoe's my age in the current time, because this is a flashback thing. 53, 24, alive, and 13. And I think Edgeworth is like 19. And this is what, 6 years, 7 years in the past? Although well into the murders occurred, I just sort of brushed it off. Basically, you said that you saw Gumshoe, and then you didn't see Gumshoe after that. That's probably all I'm going to find out from his honor. The judges in this country seem rather friendly. There was one judge I've had them, but the guest judge, I think, or whatever we had for one case in the previous game, that was kind of an asshole. Not an asshole, but just a little more strict. That wasn't that great. You're getting in the way of the investigation. Why did I say it like that? I have an order from Miss Von Karma himself, plus I still hold investigative authority. Tick. So you're the one who called for Dr. Gumshoe to come down here. Faraday, that guy was just accused, you know? I just knew something was gonna happen. My detective's instinct told me. A lot of good it did you. You didn't even protect one lone prosecutor with it.
Hold it!
Francisca, I think you need to apologize. Oof. I'm terribly sorry that the bad. Please continue. I used the phone on the first floor and called the precinct. Oh. I told them to send somebody over. Man, this is hard to do with an itchy throat. And that detective's the one that showed up. And only upon his arrival did you set Detective Gumshoe to stand guard, Detective Bad? Yeah, I waited for him on the first floor. After he got here, we came up to these defendant lobbies together. As we entered this hallway, we ran into you. She told us Faraday was really mad, and that he dragged Rel off to lobby number 2 to have a word or something. And that Faraday had said to not let anyone interrupt them. So what choice did I have? All I can do was tell the big lug to stand guard outside. What time did that take place? Let's see. I think it was about 30 minutes before I heard the gunshot. I think everything will be solid if I have a map. I know who the pup is. But the thing is, I remember the method. The detective never left the hallway, then where did he disappear off to? Lobby number 1 next door. Only one without an alibi is Gumshoe. How much time elapsed between you hearing the gunshot and your arrival on the scene? What were your movements upon hearing the gunshot? Huh, that makes you the discoverer of the crime scene, right? Okay, so here's the thing. If Gumshoe's the killer, why would he just wait outside in the hallway when he would be the prime suspect for 2 people who had been killed that he was supposed to be protecting? 1, 2, if he was the killer, why would you, if you immediately, hear the gunshot arrive on the scene less than a minute, right? So in less than a minute after hearing the gunshot, you made your way over to the other side. But hold on. Hold on. Approximately 4 p.m. Well-done bullet wound to the chest. It's possible he was alive after being shot. So, what time did you hear the gunshot? Other than the gunshot, didn't hear signs of any struggle. So Gumshoe said you also heard the gunshot. I feel like a minute is too short of time for someone to shoot someone, leave the premises, and then, or less than a minute, and then wait outside for people to come. You treat with dignity and deserve, or else. Are we done? We done? Like I said, I was in the number one lead. I have nothing else to add. Oh! I remember what it is. Bang, the sound of a gunshot hit my eardrums. I remember now. It's not a gunshot. Rather, he is keeping us under surveillance. You guys were the ones who said you wanted to investigate in the first place. Okay. Is obstinate the same thing as stubborn? Hold on. Obstinate. Stubbornly refusing to change one's opinion or chosen course of action despite attempts to persuade one to despite arguments, reason, or persuasion. It's stubborn. Okay. Interesting. Sounds like one of those words that you use when you want to sound smarter, when you can just say another word that most people know anyway. Like, stubborn. I don't think he's gonna talk to us about anything else. I've got nothing to say. Okay, alright. Alright. I don't think I'm getting more out of Detective Bad. Just scoot that up. Alrighty. Noob can count the bars, the center errors on the thing. The pink rubbery substance. I saw this in a different form earlier today. I believe this is a piece of a popped balloon. I suppose that's possible. The balloon probably got a little too close to our friend and the windowsill cactus. That would be a logical conclusion, yes. Okay. Okay, I think I have... I think of here. It appears that this vending machine sells snacks and other various foods. Don't be a jerk in court like these beef jerks. One packet for $9. Defendant's fresh milk. 1/2 pint for $7. Stay neutral as the Swiss. Damn. Do until the end with these for $6. These are pretty overpriced, yeah. I don't know if I'd get a sandwich from a vending machine. Wait. Hmm. Well, it comes in packs of 2. Hmm. I agree the milk is freshly milked by various defendants on trial right now. Ew. I think it means that it was milked right here from the various defendants. Almond shoots for $9? What the f— When it's looking bad, blind your opposition with some OJ. You're in hot water, you might need a hot dog. Prosecutor Winston Payne? Really? Him? That guy? That dweeb? You leave matters in Akama's hands, everyone in court will be found guilty dogs. Yeah, no, that's not good.
Objection!
Objection!
Even a foolish fool could understand the foolish thinking of the fool who made it up. You acting foolishly that I got so thoroughly mad and now I'm utterly famished. Don't let the prosecution and defense make a ham sandwich out of you. What the fuck? Hey, if I'm not talking right now, it's because I'm making a sandwich. A godly sandwich. The best sandwich. I believe you. It's important to eat. I already ate earlier today. Ooh. Okay, get all these. Cut these. That. Okay, we need to go. Well, hold first off. I think this is a trap. Oh, wait, never mind. I got it. Could have been from the Swiss roll. Met him the right venue. However, it is being sold right over there. The vending machine. Oh, there's a question there. The vending machine? Ah, I see. Stay neutral as the Swiss do until the end with these. Oh, stay neutral as the Swiss do until the end with these. Okay. The fact that the cake crumbles and the chocolate bits were found in this hallway, it suggests that they came from a Swiss roll that was purchased from this machine. The gumshoe must have sat on this bench as he ate a Swiss roll. And he ate, he dropped it on the floor and sullied the bench. Anyway, if it was indeed the gumshoe who bought the Swiss roll, that creates a rather interesting contradiction of facts. I think another look at the special courthouse vending machine is in order. Does it count?
Eureka!
Isn't it the fucking... The ham sandwich looks really good. Okay, it's not that. I don't know if I trust a sandwich from a vending machine though. I feel like, I mean, I guess they could be good, but like, what the fuck? I know what it is, but oh shit! Hold on. Yes, here it is. There we go. The Gumshoe's financier said that until this morning, he didn't have a single penny on his personage. Just how poor is that guy? If his bonus really was only $5, woof, then he should have not have been able to purchase a pack of Swiss rolls. However, facts being as they are, we found cake crumbs on the floor. I mean, Scruffy must have bought a pack somehow. Indeed. That Ditto should not have been able to purchase a pack, and yet he did. The question is how. Does it go all the way back up, or is it? Oh, it does. Holy shit. But don't worry, those things are chock full of preservatives. You'll practically be preserved yourself. Okay, I will take your word for it. I don't have a place around me that sells sandwiches and vending machines, but at least I don't think I do. You should check. You should be checking to see if your conclusions are wrong first. So you go ahead. Okay. Very well, but first we must pay his honor a visit to correct his testimony. Your Honor, if I may, I'd like to test your witness testimony to see how it stands up. In a sense, I suppose you can say that. Even you, a judge, are nothing but a common witness before Vancouver. Silence in the courtroom. Silence, I say. Mr. New Prosecutor, whatever, and Mr. Okay. Whew. Not repeating that. As a defender of the law, I could never give false testimony. You can even place me under oath if you want. Very well then. Your testimony, if you please. Alrighty then. During the recess, I went to the restroom. Oh, that's the courtyard. Okay. There's a window on the hallway side. In other words, I can see into the hallway. As I entered, I saw that detective buying something from the vending machines. But when I was about to exit the restroom, he had completely disappeared. Detective that goes missing while on duty. That sounds mighty suspicious to me. Okay. Your Honor, can you please try to remain calm? I'm so used to simply listening to testimonies that I got caught up in the excitement. Alright. Go. I can see into the hallway.
Hold it!
Okay. Are you sure the person you witnessed was Detective Gumshoe, Your Honor? It's hard to miss someone of his stature even from as far away as the restroom. Besides, I can't think of anyone else with that kind of hairstyle, big beige coat. Beige? 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 Recently, things do seem to be a bit fuzzier than they used to be. Uh-oh. I'm not mistaken in what I saw. He disappeared, but Your Honor, didn't you just say I saw the detective buying something from the vending machines? The western window looks over the courtyard and right into the hallway. But so I look like I saw no one in sight. I mean, the only solution to this mystery.
Hold it!
His honor could not have been mistaken if what we saw. However, Francisco, why do you suppose our lines of sight are so different? I believe his lance had to be an important factor. There are two places.
Objection!
Whew. Whew. All right, that was close. What was that finger wag for, Mr. Edgeworth? And don't you know it's rude to shout objection while someone is giving testimony? If you are truly a man of the law, then you must always be vigilant. For example, I never let an opportunity to shout objection pass me by. It's one thing to be passionate about your job, but this is a real life. Your Honor, I wonder if you might take a look at this for me. What is that filth? How dare someone dirty the hallway bench like that? Who is the culprit? That party is hereby found guilty of uncleanliness. If you must know, the uncouth bench cellier has already been placed under arrest thanks to your earlier testimony, Your Honor. Oh, well, that's good. But who was it? We were about to discover something. We were able to discover something from the smudge on the bench, namely Detective Gumshoe's fingerprints. Having with committing such murder, he had to go and dirty the courthouse too. Guilty! Your Honor, please calm down. While it's true that the detective is the one who made the mess on the bench, we have not yet established that this action is related to the double murder. What do you mean? I believe that the detective bought a pack of Swiss rolls from the vending machine and then promptly sat down on the bench to eat one. The cake crumbles and the pieces of chocolate on the floor under the bench. Detective Gumshoe's fingerprints prove my conclusions to be true. Oh, but I still don't understand. Is this whole thing related to how I couldn't see him as I was leaving the restroom? Heh, it is indeed. The window to the hallway is built rather high up into the wall, at around a grown adult's chest height. As evidence, I submit that Francisca herself was unable to see out of that window. That's a bold thing to... Yeah, we knew this was gonna happen. But basically, what this means is that the area directly under the hallway window is a blind spot when the hallway is being viewed from a men's restroom. Then, it seems that you have made the connection. If someone were to sit on the bench under the window, yes, even someone as large as Detective Gumshoe would effectively disappear from sight. Do you finally see, Your Honor? Your testimony has just proven that Detective Gumshoe was in the hallway the entire time. Here, let me try that again. Hold it. Is it something of value you'd like to say? Or something else just now? Mr. Edgeworth, please allow me to testify to the court one more time. The more info, the better in the perfect investigation, right? I suppose it's possible you can't see a seated person from the restroom window. However, that doesn't mean that the Detective Gumshoe was sitting there when I looked. Anyway, I forgot to testify earlier about probably the most important detail. As I was leaving the restroom, I heard a loud bang of a gunshot. How is that? How that is the testimony of one who judges the crimes of others. Would you try to state the important facts first next time? Honestly, I thought that sound was just a noise Papa does now. Was there someone celebrating a birthday during the recess? I could have sworn that I heard a Papa going off. Come to think of it, the other day with my grandson, and then goes off on a rant. And whenever I get murdered in the future, I definitely want food to be a key piece of evidence in my murder trial too. Your Honor, you can totally see the shrimp scampi was actually made by the murderer. Are you telling me a shrimp fried this rice? Objection. Okay.
Objection!
What? How was that? Okay. Oh no, my hand slipped. Oh no. Oh no, my hand slipped. Oh, what time is it? Oh no. We'll load playing from this game. Oh no. What happened? Oh, did I just save scum? I don't think so. Oh no. What happened there? Oh boy. Road work ahead. I sure hope so. Wow. Woohoo. Wow. Whoo. That's bullshit. Ha. How did he smile?
Hold it!
Okay, there we go. Your Honor, about what you just said, I know I couldn't believe it myself, but I went bang with a gunshot. Now it's clear that I went to a knee-jerk reaction. Like this. Yes, just like this, with a quick Your Honor, please remain calm when you're trying to explain yourself to me. Yes, sir. Sorry about that. Now that I must gather myself, yes. When I heard the gunshot, there was no one in the hall. I know I looked, there was no one there. Francisca, if I'm correct, the system is highly precision quality. Yeah, you need more information out of him.
Hold it!
I don't think you know when the prints you referenced were left on the bench, do you? He's got a damn good point. That's a smart-ass move. While you're proving that's possible that the gumshoe was sitting, I still have problem with you with just when those fingerprints were left. You have to prove when the fingerprints were left on that bench. While he feigns ignorance, his honor has seen a lot of life. This judge, I mustn't underestimate him. There's a reason why he's a good judge. Kind of a weird judge, but a decently good one.
Hold it!
Okay. As we established, you went to the restroom during recess. However, at what point in the recess did you look into the hallway? After I called for a recess, I handled the change of prosecutor paperwork, maybe about 20 minutes until we reconvened. Yes, that sounds about right. Just as I expected. What were you expecting? And demand to know what that all-knowing smile was for. Your Honor, that statement you made just now is very important. I'd like for you to append it to your testimony. Alright, if you insist. Let's see. I looked into that hallway about 20 minutes before we were to reconvene. Okay.
Objection!
Gotcha. Whew. I had the right evidence, but it was the wrong time to use it. I cannot allow you to make an objection. What? Your Honor, I'm really sorry, but I cannot allow you to not allow me to make an objection. You've been overruled? Yes, you have. Your Honor, there are simply too many holes in your testimony for my taste. But what do you mean by that? You claim that you heard a gunshot during the recess, but that is simply not possible. It's a new prosecutor recommended by Manfred von Kammer Act. Instead of biting your tongue, why don't you bite... Whew. I see you have no mercy for the elderly either, Francisca. Don't talk back to me unless you want to be whipped in the back. Already? My ears are not that far gone yet. I'll have you know I can still hear just fine. I heard the sound of a gunshot loud and clear with my own 2 ears. Ha! Your Honor, I have here an interesting bit of testimony. It's from Detective Bad, and according to him, he heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to start again. Your Honor, you just said that you heard the gunshot about 20 minutes before we were to reconvene. How do you explain this glaring contradiction? Unfortunately, that is the truth. The sound of a gunshot. And that piece of evidence, I always did wonder why we found it where it did. However, now I understand what the gunshot the judge really heard was. Unfortunately, Your Honor, this is what really produced the gunshot you heard.
Take that!
I found this object in the hallway earlier. It may not look like it. Look like it? Oh, may not look it. Would we look at like it? But this is actually a piece of a balloon. And suppose you would like me to accept this pink balloon into the court record? Your Honor, I present this piece of evidence in order to overrule your testimony. What? Your Honor, your argument goes as follows. You saw no one in the hallway when you heard the gunshot. Now, there was no guarantee that the detective was sitting on the bench at that time. Therefore, you believe he must have been at the crime scene. Defendant lobby number 2. Am I correct? Yes, that's exactly right. Let me ask you something. Do you think that the gunshot you heard was produced by a real gun? I think you've said enough that even you can figure the rest out on your own. Your Honor, you were fooled by the popping of this balloon into thinking it was a gunshot. If it was me, I'd wrap this thing up before the judge even testified. How do you know what a real gunshot sounds? Oh, I guess you're a judge. You probably heard recordings. That's true. One doesn't usually think balloon is in conjunction with courthouse. Unless... that balloon that girl was holding explains everything. Your Honor, if it makes you feel any better, you didn't lie once in your testimony. However, I can't really vouch for its accuracy. Who knew that giving testimony could be such a difficult thing to do? Wait, there are still a few things I have yet to resolve about what happened in the hallway. Your Honor, I request your permission to further question Detective Gumshoe. Whether we did clear his name just now or not, I still cannot say. The only thing I can do for now is to continue in my quest for the perfect explanation. For the truth! Very well. Bailiff! Fuck his pee-pee. God damn it, AOC, I'm saying that too. Please bring Detective Gumshoe into the courtroom. But what is it now is Is it time for my trial already? I've already told you a gazillion times, pal, I didn't do it. I'll be the judge of that, Detective Gumshoe. All these judges. In any case, I would like you to testify as to your actions while you were on guard duty. And please remember, you are not on trial. This is all just a part of the investigation. As such, you may still be found to be innocent. However, if you should give false testimony, my whip will object loud and clear. You'll be held indefinitely. Understood? Alright. I came down here to this courthouse on Detective Bad's orders. As soon as I got here, he ordered me to stand guard in front of lobby number 2. From that time on until I heard the gunshot, I was in that hallway the whole time. On my honor as a detective, I swear it wasn't me, pal. He's not. Lying anywhere there. I don't know who's lying. I pulled the information I needed out of him. Okay.
Hold it!
And by he, you mean Detective Bad, of course, and this being my first time at the courthouse, you also walked me up to the 3rd floor hallway in front of the defendant lobbies. Did you meet anyone along the way? Just as we entered the hallway, we ran into Miss Yu. When we heard from Miss Yu that Mr. Faraday was not to be interrupted, that's when Detective Bad told me to stand guard in the hallway. From that time on until I heard the gunshot, I was in that hallway the whole time.
Hold it!
You couldn't have been in that hallway the whole time. However, is it not in fact you did something while you were in that hallway? What did something? I guarded the door to lobby number 2, pal. What else? Very well then. And what exactly does guarding that door entail? Well, to put it simply, all I know is my job to stand in front of the door without moving an inch. Detective Gumshoe, you mean to tell me that you didn't take a single step away from the door to lobby number 2? Is that really what you wish to testify to the effect of? You got it, pal. I didn't take a single step away from that door, just like I was ordered not to. Yeah. Also, yeah, that makes sense. Not his statement, but how that sentence was structured. Because we were all in shock and in awe of your utter stupidity. Until I took a sunshot, I think I take a single step away from the lobby number 2 door. Well, hate to do it to you, Sonny, but
Objection!
we got him. German, we got him. I have an objection. What is it, pal? Detective Gumshoe, I wonder if you might recognize this from somewhere. Precisely. In that case, I suppose that you also recall the sullied hallway bench. You know you can't go around dirtying up the courthouse like that. Honestly, they're more mad at him for lying and then fucking dirtying up the bench. About the fact that you didn't move even a step from a single step from in front of that door. If that were really the case, then how are you able to buy a pack of Swiss rolls? Furthermore, if you didn't move a single step from in front of that door, how did you manage to get that bench dirty with your grubby hands? I was hungry, so I bought a pack for myself, okay? I thought I'd get chewed out again if anyone found out about me eating on the job, but I didn't want to say anything. I saw you buy a pack of Swiss rolls from the vending machine. That last statement, it may sound like it makes sense. However, there is something I don't quite believe about it. Are you sure you're not withholding further information from us? Okay. If only that were the true Detective Gumshoe. Detective Gumshoe, I'm sure you're aware of the price of a pack of Swiss rolls, correct? Remind me again, pal? That vending machine put out in the hallway is selling packs of 2 Swiss rolls for $6 a pack. Expensive shits, but whatever. And yet, according to you, you didn't have any cash on you until you cashed your $5 annual bonus check. Isn't that right? Let me ask then, how did you manage to purchase a pack all by yourself? Can you provide me with a proper explanation to that? Correct. As if you could. I mean, what are the chances of that? Wait. You do? Of course I do. What proof do I have that there must have been someone else in there in that hallway?
Take that!
What? What? The balloon is not evidence? What? How is that not evidence? This guy clearly doesn't have a balloon.
Take that!
I think you're under the mistaken impression that I bought this pack of rolls. If you didn't buy it, then that means you must have stolen it, you thief. What? I would never do such a thing. All you liars are the same. You start out as thieves. You're under arrest, pal. I believe you meant to assert that all thieves start out as liars. And in that case, what does that say about you, detective? This particular Swiss roll was dropped by a certain someone. Uh-oh, yep. There are 2 rolls in this package. You ate one of them, but you then gave the other to a certain other person, didn't you? Gotcha. It would appear that we've caught you at last. Don't you dare do anything bad to that girl. So, why do you continue to come up to me and kick me? Have I wronged you somehow? I have a name and it's K. K what? K Faraday. Faraday. Are you perhaps Mr. Faraday's daughter? I'm not a you, I'm K. K. You know, good little girls don't kick other people, especially possibly in the nuts. Especially not hard enough to leave big nasty bruises like the way you do. Well then you shouldn't have put Gummy under arrest, mister. Gummy? My guess is that she's talking about Detective Gumshoe. That's just a cute nickname. What a cute nickname you've given him. Wow. Gummy didn't do anything wrong. Free Gummy 2024. It appears that I would need to speak with her in a bit more detail. Oh, good for you, detective. Oh dear, what's the matter, Your Honor? I claim to have hand down fair verdicts, but unfairly cast suspicion on the big fella. If this had been a trial, this night would have destroyed his life. I am the guilty one. But error is to human, to forgive divine. Agreed, however, she seemed to be rather uncooperative at the moment. Perhaps I will try feeding her. A pathetic amount for pathetic detective, I think it rather suits him. But I think it's a bit too low even for an officer like him. I'll never have to work with that pathetic fool anyway. Yeah. Sure. Did you have one? If you want one, I'd appreciate it if you would just tell me so. I make you prepare me some milk to go along with it. That's a good point. I don't eat Swiss rolls, but I feel like they'd be good with milk. Now then, Kay. I wonder if I can feed her something.
Take that!
Hey, I promise to give this to you if you can calm down. Oh, a Swiss ball. It really belongs to you though, doesn't it? Yeah, I was saving it for Daddy. Uh-oh. Oh, overheard the guards talking. I'm not gonna cry. I myself was also involved in a case at this courthouse when I was a young child. A case in which my father, who was a defense attorney, passed away. All of my dreams of becoming a lawyer were crushed into fine ash on that nightmarish day. Even now, the wound festers deep in the depths of my soul. Ever since that incident, I've dedicated myself to locking away every criminal I can. And now, to have this happen right in front of me. Are you going to just stand there and watch a lady cry? Ah, you're right. Sorry about that. Here, how about we use this handkerchief here and dry your little eyes. I promised Daddy I'd never cry in front of strangers. I'll even testify that you didn't cry just for you. It's nothing. I'm only telling the truth after all. A hero just says his job was to catch all the bad people in the world. But to you, a prosecutor is a hero of justice, huh? I suppose we are in the sense as we are the ones who seek guilty verdicts for criminals. Whenever I came to the courthouse, Daddy would buy me my absolute favorite treat, Crisp Rolls. I want to be a hero of justice someday, just like Daddy, but I've been working really hard. What have you been working hard on? I've been working hard to keep all the promises Daddy and I made together. Sure, it's okay. Exchange side routine, Mr. Faraday and K. Never take things from a stranger. Never go anywhere with a stranger. Always greet people with a smile, even people you don't know. Never cry in front of strangers. Always try your hardest to learn about things you don't understand. Daddy's job is to make sure that everyone follows the rules. Kay, be a good girl and promise that you'll keep your promise to me, okay? Love, your Daddy. Aww. I hand down verdict to justice. That makes me a cool hero too. Oh, Judd's getting fucking destroyed. We only talked for a little while. We went on our ways. You have now confirmed that Kay was in the hallway during the recess, isn't that right? Ooh. Come to think of it, you did come and ask for exchange for a handful of change for $1. And that's you came and asked me to change your money, correct? Yep. Thanks a bunch for doing that, mister. Let me ask you, even with that dollar, you still didn't have enough, correct? Oh, that's what she gives to him in the past. Never take things from a stranger. Ah, it's one of those promises made in your promise notebook, right? I believe it's now crystal clear that you were with Kay within that hallway. You still haven't offered an explanation for why that man would lie to us. Well... So what was Detective Gumshoe's motive for lying? If you can't explain that, then you can't call this an investigation. The reason for lying is very simple. Here is what I believe his reason. From simple observation of the detective's actions and his interactions with Kay, it's obvious the detective was lying for the young girl's sake, and this piece of evidence will show you exactly why. Which piece of evidence proves that Detective Gumshoe was lying on account of Kay?
Take that!
Mr. Faraday in Kay's promised notebook, how does this explain anything? If you could take a look at this page, it's clearly written that Kay should never take things from a stranger. When Detective Gumshoe heard about that promise, he tried to cover for Kay. What a foolish fool's full of a foolish reason for a fool. At long last, Detective Gumshoe, can you please tell me the whole truth now? Guess there's no beating you, huh, pal? Okay, I'll tell you to spill the goods. I'd been standing guard for a while. I was getting really hungry, and that snack vending machine was taunting me. But all that cash you had on you was $5, and that was enough to buy anything, right? After all, the cheapest item in that machine is a $6 pack of Swiss rolls. Yeah, but then, like an angel from heaven, Kay showed up. I was thinking about sharing a snack with Daddy, so I wanted to buy a Swiss roll. We only had $1 in coins. So we pulled my 5 and her 1 together, bought a pack of Swiss rolls together. But I was worried about breaking one of my promises. Then Gummy said, Mr. Faraday is one scary guy when he gets mad. But don't worry, you won't get in trouble if I don't tell, right? Besides, you bought it with me. So you didn't really get it from me, you know? You told me it'd be okay, and gave me a whole roll to save and give to Daddy. Who knew that Scruffy could be so considerate? Indeed. Detective, I take it that you then sat down on the bench and ate the rolls together. Yeah, we split the other roll and ate it right then. The sweet taste of that cake chocolate, I'll never forget as long as I live, pal. Anyway, I also believe this belongs to you. Oh, that's from the balloon I popped. It's bad manners to leave garbage lying around, Kay. I'm sorry. Well, I guess I can't blame you for not throwing this one piece away. It was sitting high up on the windowsill where you couldn't see it. Just this once, I forgive you. But that balloon, I want to surprise Gummy a little, so I popped it on purpose. And because of me, Gummy dropped half of his Swiss roll. Really got me there, pal. So I thought maybe I should give Gummy this other roll. And then I saw you picking on Gummy, mister. So you kicked me, is that it? You sure are a feisty one. I'm really sorry, mister. It's alright, I'm perfectly unarmed. But about, you didn't sound like that way earlier. But about this Swiss roll, would it be alright with you if I held onto it until Detective Gumshoe was cleared of all charges and free to go? Just make sure you give it to Gummy afterwards, okay? Of course, I promise. Now then, I believe we have proven beyond the shadow of a doubt that Detective Gumshoe was in the hallway for the entire duration of his duty, which undeniably proves that Detective Gumshoe could not have committed the double murders. You've just shown that the Gumshoe is the only one who could have committed the crime. Gummy's not the bad guy. That girl is Miss Faraday's. You think that just because she's the victim's daughter, he gets to just run wild around the crime scene? I think it's actually quite dangerous for her to speak nothing of getting underfoot. You in front of the door to line number 2 the entire time, right? Yeah, but you see, isn't it obvious that it could only be the detective? The only person who could have gone into the lobby number 2 at the time of the murders. Don't worry, Roy put in the necessary paperwork for his formal arrest. Oh, that's right. I was going to speak with you about that. Don't you think it's reckless to talk to the suspect out of an open window without a guard? Out in the open without a guard. That was window. Must keep a good eye on a criminal or you may regret what comes of your negligence. Actually, this is our last chance. I can tell that if we fail to solve this case, the gumshoe will be formally charged under all the circumstantial evidence. I swear that the bad and it was you at the time of the crime. Lobby number 1. Whew. Alright. That was 2 hours? Oh no, it was 1.5. Okay. I was like, ooh. Do. Aw, the bad seems like a nice guy. He got in trouble because he lied to protect me. It's the mister from before and the lady too. You Uncle Bad's assistant? People are free to investigate things outside the actual crime scene. You also had a few things you wanted to look into. No, Gummy really isn't the bad guy. I mean it. So please, find the real bad guy, okay? She wandered off while I was pondering. Alrighty. Maybe it's too much perfume. Is it just a coincidence that one of the windows in this room is already open too? We'll like that girl and I because they're both admirable prosecutors who look up to our fathers. The only difference is that her father is now dead. If my father, who is the anchor of my life, were to die, I don't know what I'd do. This guy seems like he's a lone wolf. Disc. The TV. Oh. Figured it. Okay. Now I know the Now I know the method. I know the I know the perp, and I now know the method. Here, little girl, you can have it. That's all you wanted to talk about? So I'm going back to investigating. Actually, I still have a few other things I wish to inquire about. So you were in this room the entire recess? Like I said, I made the call to the precinct to get that big lug down here. But other than that, I was waiting for the recess to end in here. At least your story is consistent. Earlier you stated that you were in this lobby with Miss Yu. Yeah, I ran into her in the hallway. He said she wanted to talk to me about something, so we came in here. Then what you're saying is that until Detective Gumshoe's arrival, you and Miss Yu were at 2 different locations? I guess I am. Interesting. Speaking of that lawyer, he seems to have a great dislike for you. Let's see, she's the sister of the victim of the KG8 incident, and as I recall, he was the lead detective on the case. I wonder if the reason for her disdain isn't simply because you failed to guard Cece, or because you were the lead detective on the case. I also know that today's trial involving the Codifian Embassy staff member is being referred to as the second KG8 incident. Now then, Detective, I believe it's time you were honest with me and told me the truth behind your relationship with Miss Yu and Mr. Faraday and the KG8 incident. If you already know that much, I guess it'd be alright to tell you. Now then, I'd like to ask you a few questions about the KG8 incident. It's not exactly a happy story. Other than the people who were directly involved, you two will be the first to hear what I'm about to tell. The honest truth behind the KG8 incident. Faraday, you and I, as you already know, we 3 were involved in the KG8 incident. Faraday and I were originally on the trail of a smuggling ring. You mean the smuggling case involving one of the Amano Group's secretaries? That trial was just a front. A facade? Yeah, but the case became tainted. All because the witness who was going to testify about the Amano Group's ties to the smuggling ring, CCU, was killed. Then what became of the secretary who was arrested? His name was Colin Deveray. To be honest, the guy didn't know a thing about the smuggling ring, and now he's dead. He was the victim of the previous case, which is set after this case. But he confessed to knowing about it anyway. Deveray was probably being intimidated by this big boss man, just another scapegoat. The boss man of the Amano Group? He couldn't possibly mean Mr. Ernest Amano. That can't be right. It's probably just Detective Bad's personal hypothesis. Oh, because at this point he's like still ingrained in like the prosecutorial life and also like Ernest Armando and being indebted to Ernest Armando. What is he trying to do, suspecting Mr. Armando being involved with smuggling? I suppose it would been quite difficult to secure an acquittal after he confessed. But the man who killed CCU, Manny Koken, was a completely different person. Since he's already been acquitted once of her murder, Mr. Faraday, how would you have let him go? If I remember correctly, I heard that Mr. Faraday had an important piece of evidence stolen from him. That wasn't Faraday's fault. It was mine. I wasn't vigilant enough. Faraday, CCD, I was supposed to protect them both. But even I, who was supposed to protect them, I fell into their trap. The holes in this jacket are a testament to that trap. You were shot at with that many times in one gunfight? No. Only about half of these are from that case. But the reason I continue to wear this jacket is to remind myself of the lesson I learned from the KG8 incident. I see. I couldn't protect CCU, and the suspect was found not guilty. We had hit a brick wall, as far as the law was concerned. And that's when she came into the courtroom, the victim's sister. That's when I first met Callisto Yu. It was on the day of the verdict of the KG incident was handed down, was it not? Faraday and I, we apologized to her from the bottom of our hearts. That's all we can do. But just saying you're sorry won't bring my sister back, she said. Then she gave me a hard slap across the face. Not even 100 lashes would have been punishment enough. She never want to see either of us again. Interesting. We continued to hunt down the smuggling ring and got involved in a variety of cases. But it was no use. We cracked down so many different cases. But the result was always the same. We couldn't find the real mastermind behind the ring. It was in the pursuit of the ring that we met you once again. It was during another trial related to the smuggling ring. Faraday was the prosecutor and I, as the lead detective, took to the witness stand. You, she appeared out of the blue as the defense attorney. Her client was related to the smuggling ring and she was defending them? Yeah, you was pursuing the ring as best as she could as a lawyer. I think she defended well this time for the same reason. I have my own agendas, what she said, right? Yep. I've stolen this lollipop from you. That's how naive you are. The law is merely a tool. There's no limit to it, only the skill of the craftsman. That incorrect? Not completely incorrect, we'll say. have only one thing to say to you. No one knew more about the Yatagarasu than me and Faraday. That's why I was called upon to testify in today's trial, to prove that Will was not the real Yatagarasu, which I would have done if he hadn't turned around and accused Faraday. After the accusation, I was asked to testify, but this time to prove or disprove the accusation, but I guess I won't be doing that either. I want to present the bonus paycheck. Used to be I can move through this faster, the text, if I ever don't want to like, see it, if I have like the same stuff I've gotten before, but now it's just matching the speed of what the person's talking. Oops, let me do that. Oh, now it is. I see. But it's funny because I've gotten this before though. You claim to know much about the Yatagarasu. Would you care to share what you know with me? I agree, which is exactly why I'm asking about the Yatagarasu. What? The KJ incident and the second KJ incident? Both of these cases are tied to the smuggling ring. In both of these cases, the witnesses who was to testify about the ring was murdered. However, there's one point in which they differ, and that is the presence or absence of the great thief Yatagarasu. Mr. Well claimed to be Yatagarasu, however, in the middle of the trial, he suddenly declared Mr. Fair to be the real Yatagarasu. Then, during the recess, they were both killed. Don't you find that to be the least bit odd? I believe that there must be some reason that the two men suspected of being the Yatagarasu were both killed at the same time. Reason, huh? And so, in order to catch Mr. Faraday's and Mr. Wells' cold-blooded killer, I feel that I need to learn as much as I can about the Yatagarasu. What was that sudden outburst for? You almost made me whip your by accident. There are three main reasons why the Yatagarasu will always be one step ahead. First, the Yatagarasu always knows the exact location of the target object. Second, the Yatagarasu also knows exactly how to disarm the security system. Third, the Yatagarasu doesn't leave a single shred of evidence behind, ever. I see, so those are the Yatagarasu special traits. Sounds like an incredibly elusive thief. The Yatagarasu has never been caught on tape, never tries to draw anyone's attention, and would never do something as lowbrow as commit murder. That's how I knew that Ewell wasn't the real Yatagarasu right away. We can't use that sort of logic on its own to prove that he wasn't. Listen, little girl, I'm not done talking yet. What's different about this time was that evidence related to the smuggling ring was sent to the police, and the sender was none other than the one who infiltrated the Kodafian embassy, the Yatagarasu. The Yatagarasu sent the evidence? Until now, the Yatagarasu would always publicize any corrupt dealings through the mass media. Not this time. The evidence this time was something only Faraday and I, and a select few others, knew about. In that case, how can you be so sure that it was the Yatagarasu who sent it? That's easy. A special card that only Yatagarasu uses was attached. That's how I can be sure. That's how I can be sure. And just what sort of card is it? Here, take a look at this article. Whenever the Yatagarasu wants to publicize something, a white card is sent along with the stolen information. But when we questioned Well about what was sent along with the white card, Well had no idea what it was. Thank you very much. I have a much better understanding of the Yatagarasu now. Excuse me, Mr. Edgeworth. Yes? His Honor would like to transfer the evidence from today's trial over to you. So if you could please head over to the courtroom, it'd be much appreciated, sir. Understood. I'll be there shortly. The bad, what does the law mean to you? Finding the answer to that question is the only reason I'm still alive. I'm 5 days away from retirement. To collect the evidence. I'd to collect the evidence now, sir. Defense attorney has yet to arrive. Furthermore, the evidence that was used in the murders of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Well also included, so please go ahead and use them in your investigation into their case. Pieces of evidence that were used in the murder of these two men. Son of a bitch. Slow down a little bit, what the fuck? I was always confused because they make it seem like the prosecutor should be on the right side, not the left side. And then, but then they put the prosecutor stuff on the left side here. A knife, the gun, and envelope. What's this organizer doing here? They found Mr. Faraday's personal organizer inside the evidence bag of his. Okay. Well, first off, the gun. Okay, there's a knife. Okay, the organizer. I'm getting the evidence I need to prove that Wells the killer between the handgun that Hell had on him when he was arrested and the surveillance tape. The sound of his handgun going off was recorded in the prepared surveillance video. Well, how could try to play as long as the autographs was key, I can prove he's a phony. Hope that this will finally bring it to an end. Appears to be a key. to bet to something earlier. What's different about this time was the evidence related to the smuggling ring was sent to the police, and the sender was none other than the one who infiltrated the Codifian embassy, the Yatagarasu. But didn't mention anything of a knife in the organizer. No, because it's not the easiest to smuggle a weapon like that in there, especially if you're the defendant. There's nothing related to the knife written anywhere in the organizer. Came from Mr. Faraday's evidence bag. Firstly, there's one item listed in Mr. Faraday's organizer, and no one has claimed to have seen today. Actually, I do know the answer, Francisca. One of the pieces of evidence we've been holding has been hiding a secret of its own. And it was through this piece of evidence that the knife was brought into the courthouse.
Take that!
Yes, the Yatagarasu's key that he mentioned. This is how the knife was brought into the courthouse. You just need to look a bit closer, Francisca, and see what I mean. Don't the color ornamentation of the key's handle remind you of anything? Both the Yatagarasu's key in the photo and the murderous knife have this very unique design on the handles. Furthermore, even though Mr. Faraday mentioned the Yatagarasu's key, the only object we found in the crime scene was the knife. Because you've already finally caught up. And yes, I do mean to say that the two pieces are in fact one and the same. And then let's investigate the knife then. Shows that even he had no idea the key was hiding a knife blade inside. If that's true, then only someone who knew about the key to knife trick would have killed Mr. Faraday. The great thief Yatagarasu. I was absolutely convinced that Mr. Will was not the Yatagarasu, besides, as it bad said. When we questioned Well about the card, he didn't have a D about it. Bad speaks so fucking slowly, goddamn. I believe this key is truly the key to solving this case. On the night of September 8th, an embassy staff member was killed in the front of the embassy. The staff member, hey, that's Charles' birthday. Staff member died of shock to being shot in the heart. Macwell was brought in that night as a suspect and thoroughly questioned. because the murder weapon was found on him, for which he was arrested on the spot. A symptom of a man, that's what he was. Perhaps he was, for the weapon wasn't the only incriminating evidence we have. He was caught in the act on film by a security camera. It's even bigger simpleton than we thought. Can't believe he didn't notice a security camera. The Cardifian Embassy's secret security system is supposedly very well designed. He may have simply not been aware that there was a camera in the area. Surveillance video in the security camera took was played during the trial by Mr. Faraday. You can clearly identify Mr. Well on it. Even the sound of the gunshot is crystal clear. Have you ever seen the amount of someone's death in real life? The piece that's missing is a surveillance video that was played. Derelict my duties. The surveillance video is not amongst the evidence you laid out for me. Maybe the tape is still somewhere at the crime scene? Something about this missing piece of evidence. And that's the other part of the method. Fuck it, and now I'm remembering even more. Oh. So, did you find it? No, not yet. I've looked everywhere. I see. Well then, please continue with the search. Understood. I'll continue the search. So you're the one running this show. Prosecutors like you shouldn't even be allowed at crime scenes. I wonder who that guy was. I know you're standing right behind me. Like, Zoinks, he's standing right behind me, isn't he? So tell me, Bad, who was that rude man just now? Oh, the Republic of Zengfarda's study. He's Ancient Lang. By visiting various police departments around the world, he has a lot of dedication. He's still just a rookie cop, but I sense a strong grudge of some sort from him. The guy is more useful than Gumshoe, even if he is rude. Like I said before, it's got nothing to do with the two of you. I highly doubt that has nothing to do with me. Let me save for a sec. Let me check something. Oh, I am in the latter part of the case. Oh, damn. Okay, cool. This is good. Would you care to help me test my theory? Earlier, you were in lobby number 1, and now you're here in lobby number 2. You're quite the busy man, Detective Bad. Multiple returns to the crime scene brings about success. Doesn't we, Detective say? I see. In that case, you wouldn't mind if I asked you about what happened again, correct? I don't have anything left to say to you, boy. Would it care to help us even a tiny bit in our investigation? Give Faraday's notebook to the judge earlier. That's help enough, don't you think? Please, we're asking for you just a bit more of your cooperation. Don't push me, kid. I'd like to ask once again about what happened around here at the time of the crime. And what investigating you do would be a waste of time. Besides, how am I supposed to answer questions about things I don't know about? But aren't you supposed to know everything? You should. Is it possible maybe he doesn't know about the trick behind that piece of evidence? I should try showing it to him. It may prove to be the key to getting some answers from Detective Bad. Detective Bad, did you know of the existence of the item in this photograph? Of course I did. It's my job to know everything related to the Yatagarasu case. In that case, let me ask you something. Did you know that the knife that killed Mr. Faraday and this Yatagarasu's key are one and the same? It looks like he didn't know after all. This piece of evidence, which we call the Yatagarasu's key, is actually a well-camouflaged knife. Mr. Faraday was planning to use this Yatagarasu's key to prove that Mr. Well was not the real Yatagarasu. Isn't that correct? However, Mr. Faraday had no idea that it was in fact a knife. If neither of us knew, then none in law enforcement knew either. How did we miss something as big as this? I noticed that since a little while ago you appeared to be searching for something. I presume this key is what you were searching for. And why were you searching for it? Because I promised Faraday, I promised that I'd protect that key with my life. But after he was killed, the key disappeared from Faraday's evidence bag. Who would have thought? The key is what took Faraday's life. With the bad. So that we may find the truth, please testify for me once more. Alright. But it doesn't matter how many times I tell you about what happened. Nothing will change. Ask that you please testify once more about what happened in lobby number 2 and what you experienced in lobby number 1. My answer is still the same. And this is the last time I'm going to do this. That's fine, because I only need this one last time to clear everything up. Dude. I was in lobby number 1, talking with you. We were talking about some trivial things. I heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to reconvene. When we heard it, you and I immediately dashed out into the hallway together. So I got you goofing around there, that's when we all ran into lobby number 2. Indeed, however, I feel that we may have yet to draw out all the information that we can. Okay.
Hold it!
I was hoping you could expand on what exactly you were discussing with you.
Hold it!
Okay. Until you heard the gunshot, do you notice anything else that was out of the ordinary? You hear any other strange sounds until that gunshot? The bad's testimony, the balloon piece that blew up, the perfume. What other sound thing would it be? The balloon? Hold on, gunshot.
Objection!
The balloon, I guess. At the bad, does this balloon fragment remind you of anything? It's the same color as the one K was holding. Oh, so you knew about that girl's balloon? Yeah, I was sitting with her up in the gallery. During the recess, just before we split up, I filled that balloon up for her. Well, as you may have already surmised, this piece did indeed come from K's balloon. So, what about the balloon? I wonder if you might remember hearing this balloon pop at some point. What are you getting at? This fragment was found in the hallway right in front of lobby number 2. Furthermore, it was the sound of this balloon popping that the judge mistook as a gunshot. Oh? So the sound that the judge heard was not actually a gunshot, huh? On top of that, His Honor said that he heard the balloon pop, but 20 minutes before the trial was to reconvene. Yes, which means His Honor heard the balloon pop in the hallway when you were in lobby number 1, Detective Bad. And if you were in lobby number 1 at that time, you were close enough that you should have heard the balloon popping as well. So, what? Don't give me so. You just proved that there was a flaw in your testimony. The crackling of the truth is louder than the sound of your sweet night TV cracking. Since you kids don't seem to know, let me fill you in on something. Did you ever stop to think why the doors and the walls of this place seem so rugged? That's because they were designed to keep secrets from being leaked. What is that supposed to mean? The doors and the walls are so super thick. The window panes are double layered. To top it all off, even the curtains are made of special sound-absorbing material. Then you mean... Since I was shut up in lobby number 1, there was no way I could have heard that sound. And that means the Scruff-Face's testimony is completely useless. If there was a soundproof, then of course he couldn't hear any sound of a struggle. That's also why it's only natural that I didn't hear the balloon popping. Now, do you get it, kids? The other way around. It's not possible to hear the sound of the balloon popping if one were in lobby number 1. However, if we examine the situation in reverse, a person standing in the hallway should not have been able to hear the real gunshot either. And yet, the gumshoe claims to have heard it while he was standing in the hallway. That's bad. If that is the case, how exactly did you hear the gunshot? What do you mean, how? I just did. It would appear that you have yet to realize the contradiction in your own words. Oh, how so? If the rooms are as soundproof as you say they are, then how did you hear the sound of the gunshot into your ears? Which means exactly what, Miles? In the end, what does it boil down to? It boils down to this. There must be a reason as to how the detectives Bad and Gumshoe heard a gunshot they theoretically couldn't have. It looks like we need to examine the state of the crime scene again, huh? Wait, can it be? It's the ultra-strong perfume you wears. She spilled some of it. Way too noisy. The surveillance video. How could a piece of evidence just disappear? Where did it go? Oh, this is gonna be fun. Let's fucking go. Okay. Alright, so... Boom. It's simply not possible for the killer to have escaped through barred windows. And yet the fragrance of the perfume managed to escape from defendant lobby number 1. Of course, incorporeal things can move freely through the open barred windows. What? No television. Sound. Bang. Alright, now then, what else besides a smell can go through in and out of open barred window? The answer is sound. So, no matter how careful the killer was, if the windows were open, the jig would be up. And since the windows in both defendant lobby number 1 and the hallway were open, which is important to remember, includes how the sound of a gunshot could be heard in both locations. And what has the sound of a gunshot? I don't know, a certain surveillance video that's missing? The missing piece of evidence is a video that shows the moment in which Mr. Will killed the embassy staff member. The sound of a gunshot left quite an impression on me when I was played from the trial. The video should have been returned to Mr. Faraday's evidence bag for recess and brought back here. If it did disappear after that time, then it's possible that the tape is still here in this room. Eureka, the evidence that the missing evidence created for me is the gunshot sound that no one should have been able to hear in the first place. It's not a waste of time to think, but I've figured out what we should look. I believe we should examine the television. Appears to be a videotape inside. It looks like it. The tape must have stopped on its own when it reached the end. This tape could not be the missing surveillance tape? I suppose, but Detective Bad, would it be alright for you if I verified the contents of this video? Sure, knock yourself out. Alright, let's rewind this and see what we have. If I remember correctly, the footage of the well killing the embassy staff member should be at about the 30-minute mark from the start of the tape. Understood. This should be about right. Now then, let's see. This is the footage of Mr. Welsh shooting the embassy staff member. I knew it. The missing piece of evidence, the surveillance video, was here all along. The sound. What's the meaning of this? With this, I think we could figure out the trick behind this double murder. Do you mean we figured it all out then? Yes. All I have to do now is show what the gunshot detectives Bad and Gumshoe heard was, and through where they heard it from. In that case, show me what you've deduced. Now then, show what the gunshot detectives Bad and Gumshoe heard was, and through where they heard it from. Okay, so I'll do the tape, right, and do deduce.
Eureka!
This piece of evidence will clear the last remaining contradiction in this case. What? Let's put on this answer that someone in this room. I need to calm down and think it through once more. Well, I thought. Show what the gunshot detectives Bad and Gumshoe heard was. Why did the TFs make all that noise when nothing got near it?
Eureka!
What? What? Oh,
Eureka!
what the fuck? Hold on. How am I slipping? I have what I need though. Hold on. Now to show what the gunshot. This piece of evidence sound would also dissipate out.
Eureka!
If the door and the windows of the crime scene, namely this room we're in, were closed, the killer would have used the gun and no one would have been wiser. That's true, this courthouse does seem to be well designed for such a thing, as it were. However, what happened in reality was that the gumshooter to Bad and Miss You, all three of them heard the gunshot. While the windows in the lobbies 1, 2, and the hallway were open, so naturally the people in the locations could hear it. But then why would the criminal open the window in the first place? To allow the gunshot to be heard, I suppose. Correct, that's the only logical conclusion we could draw from this. But why was that necessary in the first place? I want a real answer, Miles. I demand satisfaction. Very well, I believe the killer wanted to manipulate a perception of a certain fact. What was the killer wanted to manipulate a perception of? When the crime took place. The killer wanted to fabricate the time of death to their precise wishes, and he used the gunshot in the surveillance window to do so. Just with the tape left running. You mean the gunshot I heard was from this video? Yes, which means that the murders really occurred at an earlier time than we thought. Someone who has no alibi for that time period, and planned this crime out in advance. That person is the real killer. Whew. Looks like Miss Yu is still investigating something. Understood. Please tell her I will be right over. I'll come along. I want to hear what she has to say. It would appear that the time has come to uncover the truth. Whew. I thought I was gonna get to the next case, the last case today, but I'm not sure if I will. Because I may have another 2 sessions of Ace Attorney. Before that, though, I'm gonna pause and run to the restroom. Whew. Alright. It says ladder former, so there's another part to this. Oh my gosh. Whew. guess we're lying here. If it means I can keep her in the dark just a little bit longer, any little task will do. I've been waiting for you, Edgeworth. I've also been waiting for the moment in which we can finally lay this case to rest. I think we've more than solved this case already. Don't you? We'll see. It all depends on whether your logic holds. Why, even Mr. Bad is here. But how it turns out. Oh, is that right? Anyway, I thought you might like to hear what I've slaved away to find out. Taking statements on every single person's movements during the time when our suspect was in the hallway. Also confirmed that there is no possible route of escape from lobby number 2. Therefore, the killer must without a doubt be Detective Gumshoe. And that's all you have? Yeah, that's all there is to my conclusion in this case. Sorry, but I beg to differ. In a trial, there's always time for a rebuttal, and we are standing in a court of law. It'd be more than appropriate to follow the rules of court in this case, don't you think? But alright, I'll play along and give you a proper testimony. What I have to do now is prove it by showing who the real killer is. Everyone, Santa's suspect has an alibi for when the gun went off. Furthermore, the areas around the crime scene have all been thoroughly investigated, right? I also confirmed that there are no possible escape route from lobby number 2, which leaves us with one unshakable conclusion, that Detective Gumshoe is the killer. But of course. Quaint. Yeah.
Hold it!
The suspect, I thought that the Gumshoe's alibi has already been proven. That's a good point.
Hold it!
Okay. It's the first place everyone looked. These aren't a bunch of lazy bums, they looked into every possibility. Okay.
Hold it!
Why are you so certain there's no possible escape routes?
Hold it!
It doesn't seem really good. It seems very circumstantial. a little into something about her argument. You said earlier that you confirmed the alibis of every person other than the suspect. However, I don't recall either Francisco or myself speaking with you about the subject. For the witnesses for you, there is your mentor who gave you the alibi. I see. As for little Missy, she came to the courthouse during the recess. Was stopped by a security guard at the door to the hallway. She gave him quite a whipping for that, or so I heard. By the way, Miss Yu, what about everyone's alibis before Detective Gumshoe was assigned to guard duty? Yes, let's talk about when you entered the bad with the gunshot, Sally. Suppose that if we go by your logic, then Dr. Gumshoe was the only one. However, if one of the crime scene had occurred at the entirely different time than when the gunshot was you heard went off, what then? The gunshot was a trap meant to manipulate our perception.
Take that!
Yes, it's exactly what you think it is. This is a surveillance tape of the prosecution presented in today's trial. This was found loaded in the video player in lobby number 2 that was connected to the large television that had its volume turned all the way up. But I do, which leads me to our next point. The murders occurred much earlier than when anyone heard the gunshot. That's the only thing I can think of, too. After committing a double homicide, the killer took the surveillance video out from Mr. Faraday's evidence bag, turned the television's volume all the way up, and left the video to play. It played from the beginning. It would take 30 minutes for the gunshot sound to come out. Since we know that this method of time manipulation is possible, it opens up the possibility that the killer is someone other than Detective Gumshoe. Sons of television don't amount to much here, but of course Mr. Prosecutor Edgeworth and Miss Little Malcolm already knew that much from the very beginning, right? We know about the soundproof quality of the courthouse's rooms. That's right, and if the rooms were soundproof, then we shouldn't have been able to hear it. And yet we hear the gunshot clear as day. And that's it, end of story. But it's not. How should I explain why she was able to hear a gunshot from a soundproof room? There is actually one common point between lobby 1 and lobby number 2, and it is that despite the fact that both rooms have air conditioners installed, a window was open in each. Now, we know that the window in lobby number 2 was opened by the killer. However, a window in lobby number 1 was also opened.
Objection!
It was no mere coincidence, I assure you. And the person who triggered that accident, that other person's a real guilty party. The real killer in this double murderer is...
Take that!
Miss Callisto Yu, I hereby formally indict you in the murder of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Well. Oh. I don't understand her motive just yet, but of course I'm serious. Because she is the only one who could have done it. Well, Miss Yu, do you still feel like laughing now? Although I never thought things would spiral into this, but I have you know I'm enjoying this dance quite a bit. I guess this means it's time for my own rebuttal now, right? However, do you have proof that it was I who did that? Furthermore, do you have any proof that the tape was used to commit the crime? I think I'm shocked that either of you go around accusing people of murder like this, especially with logic as full as holes as yours. able to lift and say that'll show it was someone else, but why was that someone else forced to open the window? That's simple logic. Why don't I try presenting my piece of evidence? I have nothing to lose. Yes, I'll be fine. Oh, in that case, I'll just continue with my testimony, alright?
Objection!
Easy. Peasy. Lemon squeezy. This isn't mine. That's right, it's mine. I received it from the bad, you see. Miss you can pretend all you like, but we know at least this much is for sure. That you're the only one who gave this bottle. You're the one who gave this bottle of perfume to the bad. So, what about the perfume? While you in lobby number 1, you made a big show about spilling some of this perfume. That's according to the bad. You also knew that if you spilled it, he would naturally move to open a window.
Objection!
The timing when you were going to spill the perfume is something you can control. And the most important fact about this case is when people were made to hear the shot. Furthermore, it would have been pointless if you didn't have an alibi for yourself at the time. You mean, Miss you were the one who called Detective Bad at the left lobby number 1 when you saw him bring Detective Gumshoe into the hallway. Is that correct? All of today's premeditated events could have only been thought of by you, Miss You. You accuse me of murder on the fact that I spilled a little perfume. Well, allow me to say this much. I couldn't have killed Mr. Faraday. Would you care to testify as to why? I've had a lot of fun today, really. But I'll go really this game of cat and mouse. Let's make this last testimony wrap this up absurd case once and for all. Okay. I don't know where the knife that was used to kill him came from.
Hold it!
At this rate, she'll never escape. Or if she really wasn't from Mr. Faraday, she must have known about the existence of the knife. I'm sorry, Miss You. Maybe you weren't aware. However, the knife that was used to kill Mr. Faraday was taken from his evidence bag. I'm drawing the truth out of her. That's what I'm doing. I don't recall a knife being presented at the trial earlier today. Well, I suppose that's because the evidence was something Mr. Faraday had yet to use. There was no knife inside of Mr. Faraday's evidence bag. The only evidence we had to present was the key that Yadagrasu had set. Unless the key can magically turn into a knife, you really don't have a leg to stand on. I never intended to do such a thing. It was all a misunderstanding on my part. In any case, I wonder if you might append to what you said this to your testimony. There was a key in his evidence bag, but you can't kill someone with a simple key.
Objection!
Miss You, I wonder if you might take a look at this photo for me. This is a picture of the key that Yadagarasu sent to the police. However, while it may look like a key at first glance, it and in fact has the secret ability to transform into a knife, which means that which means that what was inside Mr. Faraday's bag was both the Yatagarasu's key and the murderous knife. You knew that the key was inside Mr. Faraday's bag, did you not? Yes. Well, with the Yatagarasu's key alone, it's more than possible to kill Mr. Faraday. Do you understand now? Just knowing of the existence of the Yatagarasu's key. Well, there's something that the Yatagarasu sent to the police. How did you have knowledge as to what it was?
Objection!
Bullshit. What are you saying is simply not possible? Why not? Because Mr. Faraday himself didn't know about the hidden knife within the key. Further, for this pages, he mentions nothing about the knife.
Objection!
Unfortunately, that is also impossible, because the Bad didn't know about the knife aspect either. What would have been a highly classified information even within the police force, and something that even the lead detective on the case didn't know. Why would Mr. Faraday have felt the need to share such information with the opposition? Looks like you give a pretty lame excuse, huh? How can you laugh at a time like this? She probably just realized the flaw in her logic and is actually not panic over it. That's not something we need to concern ourselves with. Suppose you're right. It's you. I just state that I also know that you help. And I also know how you know the real nature of the knife. Do you now? Or why don't you put your money where your mouth is and show me? Oh, I will, and I'll wipe that smile off your face by the time we're through. Who would know for the minutes that the Yatagarasu's key would change into a knife?
Take that!
There's only one person who would have known about the dual nature of the key. And that is the person who sent the Yatagarasu's key to the police. That is to say, the Yatagarasu herself. Are you saying that this lawyer is the great thief Yatagarasu? It's you. You used Mr. Well to lure Mr. Faraday into a trap, didn't you? You who profess to bear a grudge against criminals. Why? Why did you do something like this? Would have thought that you, stupid rookie prosecutor, would see through me. You're sitting the biggest chill down my spine right now, Edgeworth. This feeling of thrill. It's even greater than even when I sneak into some place. That's not my real name, because my real identity is, yes, the great thief Yatagarasu. Let me tell you something, Edgeworth. Mr. Faraday was one difficult man to deal with. For you see, he had discovered my true identity. This is why I had to erase him from the world of law. I made Will an offer and a quota for a little favor in return. All he had to do was accuse Mr. Faraday of being the Yatagarasu in court. But once he entered the recess, Will was dragged off by Mr. Faraday, which threw my plan into a complete mess. I chased after them and eavesdropped on them through a crack in the door. That Will caves to only two things, money and authority, just as all thugs do. I feared my plan was going to be ruined if Mr. Faraday held on to Rel any longer. Plus, if I had let them continue on the way they were, I would have been found out. That's why I had no choice. I had to kill them both. Didn't you say that you despise criminals? But do I really? Maybe. Well, I had a good idea of what Mr. Faraday was going to do. I anticipated that Mr. Faraday was going to prove that Will wasn't the Yatagarasu by using this Yatagarasu's key as evidence, and that he would bring it with him. Which is why I thought to use the knife portion. With a weapon as well disguised as this, no one would be the wiser, because who in their right mind would think something like this would be the weapon? I casually entered lobby number 2 on the pretext that I had to talk to Mr. Faraday. When I get with him, I pretended to be worried about something. He then let me hold the Yatagarasu's key just like that. He never noticed that I had changed the key into a knife inside the plastic bag. He didn't have the chance to take note of the knife that I took his life. At the very least, I thought to give him a quick and painless death. But if you killed Mr. Faraday first, there was no need for you to kill Mr. Well as well. I believe I mentioned why we were in the placing with the Captain Gumshoe under arrest, something about having accidentally created an eyewitness. How that led the killer to think about setting them up as though they killed each other. The trick with the surveillance tape. Yes, I hadn't actually planned to use a gun. The trick was too high that I might be caught. However, that was when I remembered the existence of that surveillance tape. Which is why I had Wells help me set up the crime scene, and after all that was said and done, I rewarded him for his hard work with a bullet. I was the client in the murder of the Cadifian embassy staff member Deed Man. You still haven't figured it out, Mr. Bad. I had Deed Man killed because he was about to give away info about the smuggling ring. Now, who exactly do you think would benefit from such an assassination? That's right. I'm a member of the smuggling ring. Maybe, maybe not. Guess you'll never know. The Yatagarasu claims to be noble, but you're just another cold-blooded murderer. That's right, little girl. The Yatagarasu is just another killer. So just humbly accept the judgment of this court. Did you know the Yatagarasu has 3 legs? Do you know why that is? It means that the Yatagarasu has more than one razor-sharp way to do her work. Oh! God, did you give her the key and give it back? Didn't I tell you, always keep a good eye on a criminal? We may regret what comes of your negligence. Damn it. Bullshit. I'm okay. Just got another hole in my jacket. But more importantly, boy, I mean Mr. Edgeworth, Miss Von Kama, are you two hurt? Hmm. But in this case, you are protecting Kay and her feelings. Looks like you just might have what it takes to be a real detective. Don't you ever lose that detective spirit, okay? You got it, Pops. Pops? Watched one too many detective dramas recently, have we? Get back to the investigation. I swear I'll catch you was the last thing I do. So, thanks so much, Bob. Well, so long as you're not fired. You should go hard, give all that you have, and perform your duties well. Oh, and one more thing. Kate left a present for you with me.
Take that!
A courthouse special Swiss roll. Whoop! Oh, it's just the line. Whoop. I'm gonna stick right by your side from down on Mr. Edgeworth, sir. You know, Von Kama was gonna be so fucking pissed that we let the criminal get away, and then we gave her evidence. God damn. That's like a bad dream. My first outing at court came to a disturbing end. A few months later, I was finally able to properly stand in court as a prosecutor. In a case where had the case stopped early, didn't it? That was the one where Goddard got fucking poisoned, and then also what's her name? What's his name? Was it Iris or Dahlia? Iris is the bitch. Dahlia is the good one. Or was it the other way around? Poisoned her lover, quote unquote, who was the inmate, and then he died. The detective in charge of the investigation was, as I dreaded, Detective Gumshoe. That was one with Edgeworth versus Mia. As for the little girl who suddenly disappeared, she's now... So, do you remember now?
Hold it!
Actually, there's still a number of things that don't make sense, Kay. First of all, why did you come all this way to see me? And second, why are you calling yourself the Yatagarasu? Yatagarasu is Callisto Liu, the woman who killed your father. No, you're wrong. Liu Yatagarasu was my father. Like I said, I was going through my father's bookshelf recently, and I found a secret diary hidden among his books. I have no regrets in choosing to walk the path of the Yatagarasu. That was written in his diary, and that's how I know for sure. But that's impossible. What's with that look? You don't believe me? It wasn't just the expression on my face. I clearly said it was impossible just now. Alright then, how do you explain this? It's a way of disarming any security system of the user's choosing? Yep, that's the little thief. Truth be told, this is the Yatagarasu's greatest secret. And this little gizmo was used by my father. My father worked really hard to steal the truth, but he was killed. And the Yatagarasu was no more. But despite that, Yatagarasu has been spotted again recently. Someone other than you? Here, Mr. Edgeworth. Take a look at this article. The Yatagarasu sent the embassy a calling card? Yeah, meaning this person's a fake. I'm almost certain the that Callisto U lady is behind this. The real Yatagarasu would never send something as like a Guardi card out. But the Yatagarasu did send a white card along with anything to be publicized. Well, as soon as I heard the news, I got all wound up. I knew I couldn't just let it go. So I searched you out so that I could obtain the truth behind the Yatagarasu. Because if anyone could help me find it, I figured it's you, Mr. Edgeworth. So you're saying I have your father's and Mr. Yu's identities backwards? Yes, because the real Yatagarasu is noble to the end. I wanted to revive the real noble Yatagarasu. If I don't, my father will never be able to rest in peace. Okay. Mr. Edgeworth, what I want from you is not to steal something. What I want is the rest of that evil woman. I think it's too hard for me to catch her all by myself. I thought that since you were able to expose her for who she is, then maybe. Please, Mr. Edgeworth, won't you help me? Believe I owe you, huh? Wait, for what? When Miss Yu made her escape, it was you who saved my life. Furthermore, you helped me with the investigation today. I'm not sued as to leave favors unrepaid. Yes, that case has been weighing down my soul ever since that fateful day, but not as much as like 20 other cases in the series. Perhaps the time has come to settle things once and for all. If you don't intend to sully your hands with a crime, then I believe I can help you. The great thief Yatagarasu. After all that time, the true identity of the thief sank back into the darkness. Burn Faraday, Callisto U, and Kay Faraday. The phantasmagorical the phantasmagorically challenging identity of the great thief Yatagarasu, and the Yatagarasu's real going. It would all come to light the day after I made that promise to Kay. Yippee! All right, we're gonna stop here for today. I was gonna continue longer, but then I had to stay up to like 11, and I'm tired. Um, hmm. What I'm probably gonna do is that I'm probably gonna stream Tangle Tower tomorrow, and I have a hunch that I'm actually like not as usually I stream for like 3 hours. I think I'll probably beat it in 2 hours, and if I do beat it in 2 hours, I'll play this for another hour. Because otherwise, because I'll probably end up playing this next week for 5 hours, and that's gonna be a lot. But anyway, in the meantime, we are gonna move back over to here and put on some music and find someone to raid. Let's see, let's see. Let's go say so. Let's raid a pistol. Bam. Okay. Perfect. Let's see. What do I have? So I have this today, Tango Tower, and maybe more of this tomorrow. Arkham Asylum on Thursday. As I guess it can be a throwback because what Arkham Asylum is. How old is Arkham Asylum? That's been a while. I've beaten it before, but I've beaten it like when I was like in high school. I think it was a high school. Mm. Oh, when did this game come out? 2009. So it's 15 years old. Yeah, that's kind of a throwback. We'll call that a throwback Thursday. Yeah, it really was high school. So I'm going to do that, and then Saturday's wild card, which basically means if I can't think of something, I'm not streaming. But if I can, it could be anything from maybe like Portal 2 to maybe some Monster Hunter World to I don't know something else. But if not, I'll see you getting them the week after. Anyway, it's time for me to head out because I am a sleepy peepee. Bye.